and welcome, you beautiful, wonderful train wrecks. Thank you all for the support and love through this new format. Change is hard, but sometimes it's good. Now, I am not always a huge fan of change, but hey, here we are. Speaking of not enjoying change, this week we're going to be talking about backsliding. For those who make a change and then hate it so much, you go back. Give me just a second. I need to shut my door so that I'm not screaming down the hallway so that everyone in my house can hear me yelling about backsliding. Give me a sec. Anyways, you guys, when looking up stuff about this, I had to get super specific. Apparently, the majority of Google discusses backsliding in reference to religion. And a religious podcast, this is not. So I kind of turned toward Urban Dictionary. The main and obvious choice, and the one I was mostly looking for, is when one goes back to their ex. A variation on this is having sex with someone you previously dated, mostly after a breakup when it makes it more complicated. Now, I would be lying if I didn't say I was a victim of this. It's definitely not really a smart thing to do. Now, I know a huge reason for backsliding is the comfort. They know you, they know what you like. They were with you for a amount of time, so it's familiar. But listen, as good as the sex can be, and let's be honest, sometimes the sex is amazing. There's a reason you broke up, and if it was you who did the breaking up, you could be sending the wrong message, and then it could be, more hurt feelings and then an even messier situation. And if it's, been a short period of time since the breakup, your ex is still the same person they were when you broke up with them. People don't change overnight. And, on that note, let me give you a really quick, well, it's not really a quick example. It's kind of a long, drawn out example. Let's be honest here. I don't give short examples. An example of this about people not changing. I did not backslide with this person. This is not a backsliding story. I have had a few backslides with a few exes. It was not pretty. It's not a thing that it is one of the few regrets that I do have. I regret backsliding because I was weak. I was lonely. It's not something that I like to do, and I don't do it anymore, but I did a long time ago. It's not something to do. So this relationship that I had actually ended pretty badly. And now when I say it ended badly, I mean it ended with him calling me a cold-hearted bitch, a whore, which I was completely faithful during this relationship. I'm always faithful during relationships. If I'm dating you and solely dating you, I'm not doing anything with anybody else. I am not a cheater. I don't do that kind of thing. And then, there was a lot of yelling and blah, 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 blah. Literally, our breakup consisted of a 3-hour phone conversation, and it sucked. And then him texting me, and then me having to block him. It was a long process. So fast forward 6 months after this, he messaged me, and one of the big reasons that him and I broke up, besides him being a crazy person, was his drinking. So he would drink almost every single day at night. It wasn't during the day, but it was at night. And when he would get too drunk, he would be mean and he would insult me. He called me my favorite insult in the whole world, which is cock hungry whore. I literally tell everybody this insult. It's my favorite insult. I don't know why. It just is. And then one of our arguments we got into, he said, if you want to go back to being casual, we can. Just remember to change the sheets first. Mind you, we had been dating for a while at this point, and I had no thoughts of being casual. So I don't know what the fuck happened. My best friend almost kicked him out of my house. He slept on my floor and I have hardwood floors. It was a mess. So he never got physical with me. I just have to put that out there, that he never got physical with me. He just got verbally mean. And then he'd wake up the next day and he wouldn't remember anything from the night before, and he was fine. When he was sober, he was a perfectly great human being, just a little clingy. So at the time that he messaged me the 6 months later, I was just starting to see somebody. And when I'm starting to see somebody, I try not to talk to other people. And also, I just didn't want to talk to him. And, he was saying that he quit drinking. He's grown up a little bit more. Because that was the other thing, is I was like, you are acting like a child. You need to, I'm like, I have a kid. I don't need to raise another one. Oh, I'm dropping stuff. Sorry about that. That was weird. Oh, I hit things and I froze things. Oops. My bad. I dropped stuff and then all of a sudden my recording stopped. And it's because I hit a button because things fell over and I screamed like a pterodactyl and it was just not cute. Anyways. So yeah, he used to act kind of like a child. It was just whatever. So, and that he was, back to the person he was when we first started dating, which he was a decent guy when we had first started dating, which, whatever. So I said that I was happy for him. I genuinely was. I'm glad he had gotten stuff together, like his life back together, which was good. He then asked if we could go get a drink or dinner. And I said no, because I didn't feel comfortable with that, because I knew his intentions were not just dinner and a drink. Because I'm sure he would have expected more. And I told him all I could offer him was friendship at the time. And he goes, well, that's not what I want. I don't want a friendship. And I was like, but that's all I can offer you. He's like, well, that's not what I want. And I'm like, well, then you can stop talking to me. And it was like a switch went off in his brain. And like, he started getting mean again, and he started insulting me and calling me names again, and literally turned back into the exact person that I broke up with. Like instantly, as soon as I told him that I don't want anything more than just being friends with him, because I didn't lead him on at all. I gave him no indication. I said, I'm happy that you turned your life around. That's great. I'm happy for you, blah, blah, blah. And no, I don't want to go get drinks with you. And I even told him, I'm like, I'm starting to see somebody. I'm like, all I can offer you is friendship. Well, that's not what I want. Well, I'm sorry. That's all you're getting. And then I called him out on it, and I was like, hey, this is the exact reason I broke up with you. I'm like, you're acting like a child, da, da, da. So then he blocked my phone number, and he blocked me, and I was like, okay, whatever. That's fine. I don't really care. Like, I don't need this person in my life that's going to sit here and insult me and can't be friends with me and keeps expecting more than just friendship, when that's all I'm giving you is friends. Like, I'm not giving you anything more than that. He didn't change. He said the words and he said he changed, but his actions said completely otherwise. So, no loss. So months go by and I get another text from him. Mind you, he had blocked my number. Like, it takes a lot for me to block your number. I don't really care. But he blocked my number. So, he reached out to me and I was like, okay, whatever. So I'm going to preface this by saying I was at the end of my, relationship, but, it wasn't really a relationship kind of thing with the person I was seeing at the time. But we were still, really good friends. We were still sleeping together, so I'm not sleeping with other people. Anyways, so my ex texted me and he was asking, how I've been. And I'm like, oh, I've been good. And this. And then he asked me out for dinner. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. And he's like, I'm still seeing that person. And he's like, oh, really? He's like, well, you're on Tinder. I was like, oh, well, I've always had Tinder on my phone. To be honest, I was not seeing this guy anymore. We were, like I said, we're still sleeping together, but at the same time, like, I don't want to hang out with this person because every time I've had a conversation with him, he has been rude. And again, with the backsliding thing, I don't want to backslide. I don't want to do this. And also, I don't want to get myself into this situation. This is not a situation I want to be in. So anyways, so he's like, well, you're back on Tinder. And I was like, well, always had Tinder on my phone. I just don't use it, which is true. I actually have like 3 dating apps on my phone right now. I just don't use them. And I actually think I pulled my phone up I pulled my phone up one day just because I get like notification stuff. I forget that it's there, and like I'll like see someone for a while and I'll ignore like all this stuff. Like I have a total of 92 notifications right now, and I have not opened a single one of them. I'll see someone for a while, ignore all my apps, and then we'll break up, and then I take like a period of time where I don't do any dating, and then I'll like go on and just kind of like browse. It sounds horrible, like I'm browsing a magazine. And then like I realize that dating is trash and I don't want to do it, so then I just don't use them, but I have them there. It's whatever. Judge me all you want. But like I just have them there. Like I don't, like I have Tinder. I haven't opened Tinder in a long time. And then he comes back with he didn't like that answer. He comes back with, well, then I guess you're not the person I thought you were. And then he like proceeds to be mean to me again about it. And I was like, okay. And then he just like stopped talking to me, which was fine. 'Cause I'm like, okay, I don't care. Like I really don't care. So fast forward to not long ago, maybe like a few weeks ago to a month ago. So the last time with the Tinder comment, that was over the summer. It is now December. So this was over the summer that he did the Tinder comment, blah, blah. So like fast forward to maybe like a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago or so. I don't know. Wasn't super long ago. Shit. He started talking to me again. Like, dude. And I ignore messages. Like, I won't answer stuff back because I don't want to lead him on to the wrong conclusion that I want to talk to him and that I want anything more or anything that he wants, because I don't. If we're going to talk at all, friendship. That's all I got for you. Like, I've been down that crazy train of a relationship, and I don't want it. I don't want that at all. Nada. Nothing. Zero. I don't want it. And then like, I just, no, thank you. And like, if you can't accept just friendship, then get the fuck out and leave me alone. Like, that's all I'm going to give you. And if you're going to throw a hissy fit and be a child about it, then I don't need you in my life. And that means you have not changed a single bit, because that's literally how you act after you don't get your way. So I haven't given him the idea that I want to date him again. And I've even said as much. And like, I've said, like, I've ignored his messages, and he'll keep sending me messages, and he'll send me pictures. Like when he goes months without talking to me, then he'll send me a text and be like, hey, it's blah, blah, blah. I can't say his name. And he'll send me a picture accompanying it, as if I forget what he looks like. I know who you are and I know what you look like. You don't need to keep sending me pictures. He sent me a dick pic and I was like, dude, I don't want to see that. Can you not do that? Like, I don't understand. Stop it. And I even told him, I was like, you don't have to send pictures. And he's like, oh, but I want to. Well, I don't want you to. Stop sending pictures. I don't know what part of any of this makes you think I want to see any of that. I don't care. You were a crazy person. You stomp your feet and cry like a little bitch when you don't get your way. Like, come on, dude. So, long story short, some people don't fucking change. So, that was the long story. But like, sometimes people don't change. And sometimes they'll say they change, but then you do something that like sends them back into their previous behaviors, and they really have not changed. So now backsliding is not to be confused with second chances. You backslide because you're bored or lonely, or you just pretend that the bad shit didn't happen. Second chances happen when you work through what made you split in the first place. You as a person are better than backsliding. You are better than ignoring all the red flags for a bit of familiar sex with an ex. Now, this week, I don't have any history for you. I know, you are all disappointed. Instead, some well-meaning advice, and I will be sure to take my own advice and stop backsliding. Remember why you broke up in the first place. Shit. Sorry. My laptop screen shut down and I thought everything shut down. I was getting a little it sounds like I was going to say falafel. Philosophical. I was getting a little emotional here. And then I said shit in the middle of it. Welcome to my life. I told someone that I say the word dick and fuck a lot. And I do. I text it a lot. Different contexts all the time. But anyway, so back to being nice and sweet. But literally, remember why you broke up in the first place. Don't go back just because it's familiar. Especially if it was toxic to begin with. If I had gone back with this ex, it was super toxic. It was not healthy. And I would have spent so many times trying to fix a person who wasn't going to be fixed or didn't want to be fixed, or it would have destroyed me personally. It would have destroyed my soul and myself. And I have a kid to worry about, and I don't want her to see my personality and myself be destroyed, because I've had that happen before. I lost myself and I belittled myself to try to help another person, which is a story for another day. You need to honor the progress that you've made. And sometimes certain people will hold you back from things that you love. And once they're gone, you thrive. And I don't want you to ruin that progress. Sometimes you'll have a passion for something, and a person that you are with and you think you love, or they say they love you, will diminish that thing that you love. And they'll try to make it seem like the thing that you want to do or that you're passionate about is not important, or that you shouldn't do it. So they'll try to diminish your passion for that. And that's not okay. You should not let a person do that. If you're passionate about something, you should go out and do it. You should go out, except for murder. Don't murder people. That's just dumb. Don't do that. That's not what I'm saying. I meant if you love painting, go fucking paint. If you love podcasting, go fucking make a goddamn podcast. I don't even care. Are you kidding me? I'm doing this, and I guarantee you all of 5 to 10 people listen to it, and I don't give a shit. But I love it. It's fun. I'm very inconsistent about it. But the people who listen to it I'm so lucky to have them, and I'm so lucky that anyone even listens to me do this anymore. I love to read. I read now. I used to write poetry, and I have books of poetry sitting in my closet. I started calligraphy because fuck it, why not? I can't paint for shit. My daughter loves to draw. So you know what? I buy her all the fucking art stuff she wants to do. If you love guns, go fucking, I don't know, have a hobby with guns. Don't shoot people. Don't kill people. I'm not saying murder, but if you have a passion and there's something you're so incredibly passionate about, do it. Go and do it. Don't let someone dull your passion for something. And there are some people who are in relationships and they dull that passion. And that's not okay. Sorry, I got on a soapbox. Create reality checks and set boundaries for yourself. Set boundaries as to what you will and will not allow. And that will allow people So if you don't set boundaries, people are going to walk all over you. And I've let that happen in the past. And now I've set boundaries, and people are sometimes not super cool with that. And you know what? To them, I have them walk. If you're not going to respect my boundaries, you're not respecting me, and you can go. And honestly, above everything, just love yourself. And I know it can be really hard, and how some days I have a lot of difficulty. But if I love and respect myself, I at least have a chance of not backsliding into something that is super toxic, super unhealthy, something that is not going to bring me joy and bring me peace. And it's not going to benefit me in any way except for temporary happiness. And it's not even really happiness. It's just being less bored. So realistically, just don't lose yourself in somebody, and don't, again, with my soapbox of don't let anybody dull your passion for things, because that's bullshit. So with that and my really long rant on not letting somebody steal your passion, thank you so much for listening and keeping up with me. I'm going to try. I always say this every single time that I'm going to try to get better, and I guarantee you I'm not going to. I'm going to try. It's just not going to happen. Thank you. I appreciate you. You can listen to this on Spotify and Stitcher. I think Blueberry still works. I don't check it that often. YouTube, I actually have to physically upload stuff to YouTube, so I know YouTube is still working. Apple Podcasts, please go on there and 5-star the shit. I don't even care if you hate it. Please 5-star it, because I love you. And I'm trying to think. I have the Instagram account still. I have the email account. Just follow, share, blah, de, blah, de, blah. All those fun things that I tell you to do every time. And yeah, so have a wonderful day, night, evening, afternoon, whatever. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And I will hopefully, fingers crossed, talk to you next week. I'm going to hopefully try to get on top of shit. I've had a lot of days off, so I'm getting a little stir crazy. So I'm going to try to knock out a bunch of stuff today and the rest of this week. So, all right. Have a wonderful one, guys. Bye.